The library
is open.
Look ahead, touch the sky, hold hands, you see, cry, be yourself, be free. Do you wanna be? I wanna be me.
Intersectionality is the idea that we are fully realized human beings when we go into a space, and that you can't take any part of our identity and ask us to leave it at the door. So when I come into a space, I am a Black, queer, non-binary person of trans experience who grew up in the South in a single parent household, and all of those things contribute to the fabulous being that is before you.
I've got immigrant, Iranian, Muslim race, queer, non-binary. That's a lot already.
I've got a bunch. I'm right there in the crossroads. Yeah, I wake up sometimes and I'm like, damn, I'm really a triracial, transgender, pansexual doofus, you know?
I'm queer, I'm fat, I'm Black. I'm also a cis male. So that plays a part in it, because guess what? I still have my own privilege when you think about it. Even I'm marginalized, there's still a world of privilege that exists. But I think intersections are important. Just because we're all queer doesn't mean our experience is the same.
I am transgender, I am a woman, I am Jewish. Intersectionality is a way for us to embrace our plurality, our multiplicity, the many ways that we exist and the ways that we show up without having to parse ourselves out and just be in alignment with one layer of that identity.
Kimberly Crenshaw created the term intersectionality to address how the US system of justice addresses different identities, and in many respects actually fails to account for or address different frameworks, whether it's race, gender, sexuality, in a kind of deeper and systemic way. So intersectionality describes a systemic set of issues that affects people with different identities and how those identities sometimes interact, face off against each other, and in certain occasions intersect.
I think it's about power, understanding how power exists, who has power, who doesn't have power, and who is profiting from that. It's very important that you understand the big picture, or you won't understand why it is that we live in a world where we have 2 billionaires going up to space during a time when millions, if not hundreds of millions of people are starving and struggling. Intersectionality helps us understand why we're in such a fucking mess.
To me, intersectionality is about remembering that my experience is not a universal experience, that everyone's experience of the world, everyone's experience of opportunity or pain or joy is informed by systems that are built to keep most of us from having the opportunity to share fully who we are, and trying to learn and understand about other people's perspectives so that my understanding of the world can have a greater richness than what our mainstream society would like to code me to have.
We are deeply complex people. Our genders and our sexualities and all of that is deeply complex, even as it is super personal. And when we are able to recognize the complexities of our lived experiences, I think it allows us to be more empathetic and more compassionate to people. And I think it allows us to really, truly show up for the people in our community who are most marginalized.
Gay, 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 gay.